Namaste and good morning. How is everyone out there today? This is Destiny, very early on a beautiful Saturday, January 11, 2020. I am back. Guys, let's have a talk today again about the inner child. We all have our inner child, so that's another topic I want to talk about. I have did video series on the inner child about 8 months ago. If you go on my YouTube channel, you can find all those videos, the inner child healing journey. And that was a lot of information shared. And you can always go back and pick up those videos, that series of videos, and you can follow me from there to where I am today. So let's get started because this inner child just topics just been turning over inside of me all over again. It's like it doesn't go away. And one of the reasons why, or a few of the reasons why, because like I said, we can constantly deal with that inner child within us. Like I said, if you're aware of the inner child, then you know that the inner child is us, it's ourselves, it's the hurt, the child that went through the pain and all those different things that we became detached as we became our grown adult self and went on with our lives. Like our past never meant anything to us, or we were never attached to the inner child, which was ourselves. It was our fears, it was our pain, it was our hurts, our rejections, our disappointments, our failures, our believing what people said we weren't good enough, we weren't pretty enough, we weren't smart enough. And we never was the child that were chosen to be on this team. We always was pushed to the side, bullied, and whatever. Many has been abused by rape, molestation. Many has been, physically beaten terribly. Many has been put in foster homes and in the systems. So much. So the reason why I want to talk about the inner child again, I'm going to bring up some different things because this week I did my video on my Book Me community platform, and I was sharing my book. And then I thought back on the books that I have shared previous. The book called My Many Colored Days was Dr. Seuss, and that was a childhood story. And that book, it gave me a lot of revelation, and it helped me with myself right at this present moment. And I didn't look at it on a child side. I took the story and I turned around. Like I said, I can take any story. I don't care what kind of book it is or what kind of story it may be. I can turn that book around and I can make that story life changing for every situation, for every person's problems, for life circumstances as it is. And the book was amazing. So I thought about it. I said, that is a really phenomenal book. And then as I thought back later on, I was like, my inner child must be craving for that type of message, that story from that childhood book. And then it came to my mind, Destiny, you already done books before about the little engine that could. And I did a video on that. That's out there as a childhood story. I did a video on row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. And I was like, okay, that was a childhood story as well. And then I thought about the other book that I did, All the Places You Can Go, which was a Dr. Seuss book. And I was like, you know what? The inner child has its needs and is still seeking for that attention and is still seeking for time that it can be acknowledged and addressed and pampered and loved. And that inner child only wants to do the things sometimes that they want to do, things that pleases them the most, the things that makes them happy, the things that bring back the joy and the peace and the calmness and the serenity in their life, where they are not constantly battling with demons that they had to battle with during their childhood, when you were a child. All the fights going on at home between siblings or between your parents or family members or friends and all those different things that people have said about you. I mean, the inner child is looking for comfort. Many have not yet acknowledged that there is an inner child within us. Each one of us has our inner child within us. Some has made that connection or reconnected to their inner child, and they went to a point where then later on they dropped the child again and they went on about their lives, and boom. And then some, they're still working with their inner child, and they're going through inner child healing work, and they're really trying to make that true connection. I mean, they may be at a slow speed and a slow pace, but that is okay. Keep doing what you're doing, because you are going to reach that place that you need to be, and your inner child and yourself is truly going to connect. Y'all going to come together. I mean, when you do that, you bring yourself back to a whole you, a complete you, and a you that is no longer separated from the part of you that hurt. So you can start healing and mending all of those pains that you suffer as that child. And then there are some who is really on to this. They have really pulled themselves and thrown themselves into their inner child, and they are ready, and they are listening to their inner child. They are listening to their conversations. They are doing those things that the inner child likes doing. Like me, for instance, I'm saying, I really came in true connection with my inner child when I really learned that my inner child was mean. That was a side of me that was pushed and suppressed under all the pain, all the pressure, all the anxiety, all the fears, and all those different things that hurtfully harmed that child, or that child ran away, hid herself, and it did not come out because it said, I don't trust you, I don't believe in you, you're a liar, you left me. That child is fearful and afraid. And I was that child. That was my inner child. And we all have different situations and things with our inner child, and we need to address that. But see, I've learned, because through my inner child healing journey series, I was taught so much, and I was taught how to reconnect, how to go back and assure my inner child, I'm not leaving her. I'm not going nowhere. Nowhere will I go without taking you. And I continue to reassure my inner child daily as needed. I love you. I care about you. We're going to spend our lives together. I praise my inner child. I get outside and I do the things that my inner child always wanted to do, but was not allowed to do. I go on the playground. I swing on the swings. I go on the sliding boards. I mean, I just get out there and I'll be my young inner child. That child always wanted to have that type of play. I catch myself sometimes, I'm jumping in a puddle of water. And I was like, woo, then it comes to me. Your inner child is experiencing the moments, the things that she wanted to do. But someone said, you can't do that. Get out of that water, you'll get yourself wet. You can mess up your clothes and hair. There's always a lot of things that we were shut down from doing. And then there was a lot of things that I had to do those things because my inner child never got to live out that joy, live out those pleasures, those experiences, and enjoy it without being scolded and talked about and said bad things or beaten or whooped. Or what's it called? Whipped. Because you supposed not got your clothes dirty. Look at your hair is all messed up. You've been out there climbing on those trees and now you got lice and all this crazy stuff. But anyway, as I did my platform this week, and on my Book Me community platform, I did another book, and I thought about the previous book, My Many Colored Days by Dr. Seuss, and then I thought about all those other different childhood stories and books and things, and nursery rhymes and songs that I have been experiencing lately in the last few months, and I was like, their child is craving for what she wants to do. Well, what she likes having in her life. So today, let's jump into this. And the topic's going to be, do things that your inner child likes doing. So, I want to get started, so welcome. Come on into the room. Destiny is here today on this beautiful Saturday. Guys, I really truly love you, and I hope this video will be something that will help you to make that true connection with your inner child. It will help you to open up your heart and mind to realize that what you're experiencing today, when you go into trauma, when you go into fear, depression, anxiety, hurts, rejection, you turn away from love because you don't trust people, it's all because that little child is still hurting, and you have not made that connection, you have not made that closure, you have not made those amends to let that child know it's okay to come out. So now we can face all of this, so we can gain our power over all these things and all these things that kept us locked in bondage and fear, and move on so we can grow to our highest self and let that child know, hey, I'm not leaving you. I said we are going together through this journey. So let me ask you a question. Have you ever thought about why you can't move forward? Have you wondered why you sabotage yourself? Have you ever questioned why you so easily feel anxious, depressed, and self-critical? Those are questions you need to think about. Think on those questions, okay? Ask those questions to you slowly and listen, meditate on them. Then you answer those questions honestly, okay? Because inside of each of us, there is an inner child that was once wounded. I mean, some was wounded so badly. So badly to like almost disfigure the whole mind. But your inner child is in your hurt spots. And your inner child is in your pain. So that's why you're experiencing hurts and pains when suddenly a flashback comes or something comes in front of you that all of a sudden you withdraw away from it, because it brings back those flashbacks. So this is something that you had been in before that you were really hurt by, and you did not really know what it was or how to express it because you hid and you ran away. As the inner child went one way hiding, you went on with your life like you were grown and like you had it all going on and you didn't need nobody, but you carried all that pain and all that hurt, and you carried all those problems and situations that you never brought closure to, you never made amends to, you never acknowledged and stood out and talked them through and healed. You never healed. That's the key. You never healed. So you carry the hurts and the pains and all that right on through your adult life, and now you think you're grown. But as soon as all that hit you back in the face, all those hurts and all those pains and all that depression and all those fears, and when someone rejects you, that inner child goes deeper down, suppressed within you, because it's hurting. Because now it's time that you have to start standing up and facing those demons within you, those things that have hurt you. I'm not saying the demons was always your demons, your fault, but other people sometimes can introduce things into your life that you take on, because sometimes you don't have no choice, sometimes you may be forced, and sometimes we do make choices of our own, which are bad choices. But anyway, let's talk about that. The inner child is your hurt. It's your hurt spots and it's your pain. And to avoid the pain, guys, guess, we'll try to ignore that child, that little child in us. No, but he or she never goes away. And I'm telling you all of that in all my videos. They will never go away. They'll go further, deeper down and suppress within us. And every so often, whenever, maybe more than you want to imagine, that child was going to come back up and it's going to try to live again. But then we are not wanting to meet the child where it is in that lower place to help that child. And we are going on with our lives ignoring, instead of sitting down and saying, hey, let's come back together and let's find out what happened in my childhood with you. What was the pain? What was the fear? Who was the victor over us? Who was the one that told us that we were all these things? Who abused us? Who hurt us? Who raped us? Who molested us? Who abandoned us? Who called us these terrible names and told us that we were? Then we got to sit down and talk these things over each other. And then we got to get to that place of letting it go after we begin to talk it over and finding our own power and our strength so we can start healing ourselves. It never goes away. Our inner child lives in our unconsciousness, our unconscious mind. I keep saying that's your lower state of consciousness. That's your ego. That's your inner child lives there in your unconscious mind and influences how we make choices. It influences how we respond to challenges and how we live our lives. So if you want to know how to get out from the mess that you're in now at your adult age, then you got to go back and deal with your inner child. You got to go back and make that real true connection with your inner child. You got to go back and make a true commitment that you all going to hang in this together and you're going to work this thing through together. And you're going to get all the help that you need so you can grow out of that fear. You can detach yourself from the ego programming, keeping you in your lower state. You got to do something to bring yourself, and when you're coming out of there, your inner child, you better have your inner child hands coming up there with you, because you're never going to be disconnected. If you don't deal with it now, at that moment, you go on with your life and leave the inner child, you're going to face these things all over again, all these hurts, these pains, these fears, and it's never going to end. You'll never have a good relationship. When something come up and remind you of something in that past, it's going to come back and it's going to kill that relationship. When you out there and looking for a job, you're going to think like, okay, somebody told me I can't do this, I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough, I'm not going to get the job. I mean, God, created us with power and greatness. We are so far much better, and we are so much greater, or our higher conscious state of being we don't even know about. But guys, your inner child is your wounded self that never got the answers from their pain. And all they want to know, what happened? Why they hurt me? Why did they do this to me? Why am I ugly in your sight? Why you don't care about me? Why can't I get to do the things that I want? Why can't I play in the mud? Why can't I jump in the sand? Why can't I roll around in the grass? Why can't I go to the park and swing? Why can't I play? Why I gotta watch mom and daddy fights? Why I gotta watch my siblings talk about me? Why I gotta see my siblings treated better than me? All these things, they got questions that were never answered. So your inner child is the part of you now that is waiting by the door for dad to pick them up for his visitation. But guess what? Daddy never comes. Daddy never shows up. Hurt. Your inner child is that one that never was picked for the teams or chosen on the playground to play with the other kids. Every time they picked their partners, the inner child was that person that was overlooked. They don't want, they're on my team. You're not good enough. You can't play with us. They were hurt. Your inner child is crying in the corner. And that inner child is listening to dad and mom and arguing and fighting all the time, day in, day out. And the child is pinned up in the corner, hurting and rocking. And no one to come in and soothe her and comfort and say, it's okay, I love you. And the child was fearful. Maybe that inner child has been abused in the most ridiculous way that you can ever imagine. Maybe that inner child was molested, or that inner child was raped or beaten, or called the most horrible names you could ever imagine. Most likely that inner child was rejected, pushed to a side, bullied, or that inner child will possibly deny love. They always felt like nobody loved me, nobody want me, nobody care about me, because nobody took the time to say, I love you, I care about you, what can I do for you? Let's go do this together. No, you ignored that inner child. That inner child was ignored. And too many of us are afraid to go inside and rescue this hurt child. So we look to everyone and we look to everything outside of us to heal the pain. Guys, Destiny, I'm going to say this again. I'm going to say it with power in my voice. Everything that you need to heal, everything that you need to live, to be your greater and higher self, your power, your own strength, is always inside of you. All of your answers for your life is inside of you. Healing is inside of you. Love is inside of you. Everything you need to know, I'm going to say it again, is inside of you. You got to stop looking on the outside for everything else to tell you who you are. You gotta stop looking on the outside for people to define you. I mean, it's in you. Everything outside of us is in us. So we gotta stop looking for people outside and everything outside to heal us. They can't. And I even had clients, as I did sessions with my clients, I had them to sit down and look me straight in the eye. And they adamantly said to me, like this, Destiny, no way. No way I'm going to dig up all that crap. I'm not bringing that inner child. I don't know nothing about this inner child. I don't want to be a part of that. I'm not messing with that. That is not me. But that's a lie. That's no crap. That's no crap. For starters, I'm saying again, it's no crap. That's real. That's reality. That's who you are. That inner child, I'm telling you again, that inner child is you. You are your inner child. And how can you deny yourself? When you're pushing away that inner child, you're no longer addressing it or acknowledging it, or you want to be a part of finding out what the inner child is all about so you can go back and make that true connection, then you're denying yourself the right to be free. You're denying yourself that right to grow into your higher and greater self so you can heal all those past wounds and those past hurts, so you can close up those cuts and wounds and those spots and heal totally, so you can move on and grow into your higher authentic self, so you can handle your adult life that you think you are all that and this and everything else, which you can't and not, and you will never be, as long as you carrying around the hurt, that little child that you all have never sat down to bring closure to, so you all can heal. We all have unhealed childhood pain. Yes, we do. I said again, I hear you. And yes, we all have unhealed childhood pain. And the question I must ask is this then. Since you're asking a question, let me ask. Destiny ask you a question. How much pain are you willing to continue enduring before the risk of living your current life is greater than the risk of looking at your past pain? Meditate on that question. Let me break it down a little bit for you. In other words, what Destiny is saying, how bad does it have to get? How bad does it have to get before you do something? Before you change the circumstances? If you don't like who you are, then you change it. If you don't like the pains and the traumas and the hurts and the abuse and all that stuff going on in your life every day, dominating and controlling you and keeping you at your lower self, then change it. You have the power within you to change any situation, but you got to believe in the power that the Creator has put in you. He has given you power over everything in this world, power to stand up to anything, any demon that stands up in front of you, any demon that you may have in you that you have not dealt with. He gives you the power to deal with it. You got to cry out and say, help. Breathe. Let me breathe. Healing our inner child, guys, it really takes work. There is a lot of good teachers, and I give credits and I take my hat off to wonderful teachers out there teaching on the inner child healing, the inner child work. Amazing, amazing teachers. And all you got to do is Google or put in your YouTube search box and just search up and then bring up these videos. Even myself, Destiny, I have videos, many videos out there on the inner child healing journey. Like I said, I did about 8 months ago, a whole series. I mean, it was a whole lot of videos. I gave you everything that the Creator gave to me to bring to this platform to tell you about the inner child, guys. During that series, I learned to grow into my greater higher self. I learned to make that connection with my inner child. I call her little Destiny, and that's my inner child. I grew to love her. I grew to win her over and trust, to gain her trust back. I would never break that promise again. Because if you ever break that promise, once you promise that child again, when that child opens up to trust you again and you break your promise and your trust, you lost that child possibly forever. You would never get that chance again. I'm not about to do that. I go on the playground with Destiny. Like I said, I'll jump in the pool, the puddles of water. I'll swing on the trees with Destiny. I'll go down the sliding boards. Whatever Destiny say want to do, I'll do it. Read me a story. The little engine that could read me, sing me the row boat down the stream, guys. I'll let all that stuff come back up from my childhood days that I have suppressed, and I have put it all down inside of me and locked it up, and I put a lock on it and a key, and I walked away, left the child buried under. I ignored it, but it was a part of my childhood. That Destiny, my little child, wanted to go back to him and live it all over again, because he never got to live it in the way of freedom. I'm talking to this, y'all. God, listen to me. Healing our inner child takes work. First, you have to be willing to look at your life patterns. I'm saying it starts with you. Everything starts with you. You got to take your responsibility. You got to stand up. And you got to stand up and start taking your responsibility and charge over your life. And you got to start using your power that the Creator is giving you. You got to stand in your power. But it first starts with you. You have to be willing to look at your life patterns. And then you got to see what is not working. Because every time you think that you move beyond and you can, overcome some of the things that you have gone through in your past, and now, yes, I'm ready for love, and now, yes, I'm ready to stand up on the biggest platform and talk to the largest audience that I ever talked to, and then all of a sudden, bam, comes from the past, and that boy said, you ain't never gonna be good enough. You can't stand up there and talk to nobody. Ain't nobody gonna listen to you. You're not smart enough. You're dumb. No, you are not loved. I don't love you. You are too ugly. As soon as you hear those words come back, you have not dealt with it, it's going to bring you right back down to your knees, and you're going to be suppressed, even more hurt, more fearful, and you're going deeper down into your ego. Yes. So it takes a whole lot of work. And when you see what is not working for you anymore, then you need to change it. You need to change the circumstances, change the situation, change the person who you are, change your forms and your patterns, and you got to start believing what the Creator has told you, that you are greater, that you are better, you are higher, you're fearfully and wonderfully made, that the greater power is in you. You got to believe that you are dynamic. I'm telling you, you got power within you that's locked in you that you need to just let it explode. Do you fear being loved? When there is a reason. Do you job hopping? If you do that, there's a reason. Do you relationship hop from one relationship to another, just in 1 second, out the next, or 1 month, out the next, just hopping out of a relationship? Then there is a reason. Are you terrible with money, managing your money, spending your money? And then you find yourself broke all the time? You never have enough? Then there's a reason. You got to go and find out what is the reason. Do you choose bad people? Do you choose energy vampires? Do you choose people who want to hurt you? Do you choose these people who does not have your back? Do you choose all these terrible people to hang around with? If you do, then guess what? There is a reason. Do you move all the time, going from state to state, city to city, country to country, place to place, from whatever? I'm just always on the move. I'm moving. Then there is a reason. Are you sad, so depressed, full of anxiety, full of fears, hopeless, just miserable, living in a state of melancholy? Are you always feeling like you are so hurt and you have no real explanation, none whatsoever? I'm going through it. I'm so depressed. I don't know why the pain is here. I don't know why the fear is here. I don't know why I'm crying. I don't know why anything. And you have no real explanation. Guys, there is a reason. And believe me, believe Destiny when I say, I'm going to say it again. There is a reason. Guys, listen. The reason is this. A hurt inner child is still hurting within you. That inner child has been blamed for everything by everyone. And that inner child has been kept from living the life that inner child always wanted to live, to be happy, to be loved, to be in peace, to be in joy, to be their authentic self. That inner child has been depressed, suppressed, and pushed down, and it is locked into a prison of fear. An inner child, I'm going to tell you, it refuses to take responsibility. Once you reject that inner child, once you push that inner child to a side, once you neglect that inner child, once you abuse that inner child, once you turn your back on the inner child, call the inner child name, don't spend time with it, never say you love, that inner child is not going to take the responsibility. It runs and it hides itself, and then it agrees with your telling it what it is, which they are really not. They are a whole lot greater, but that child does not understand that kind of language. All the child knows is saying, you're no good. You'll never amount to nothing. You're no be anything. You're not smart enough. You're dumb. And they are being hurt. You got to let me do this. You got to let me touch you. You got to let me feel you. And you shouldn't have your hands on them. If you're not your mommy cleaning you or taking your bath, you got to, I mean, it's so many hurts. You should not be up there doing a lot of things that people have done. I'm serious. To hurt these little children. An inner child refuses to take responsibility. They don't know about responsibility. They are a child. An inner child plays the victim, refusing to understand the part they play in everything that happens in their adult life. Now, as they come out of their living after you have detached yourself from the inner child, you went on your adult life, you think, I got this all together. Hell, you don't have this all together. You are mixed up. You are in a bad situation. You are worse off than you were when you were with your inner child, because now you're carrying all the pain and all the demons and all that confusion, all that hurt and all that anxiety and abuse and all those labels and all those lies saying that you are all these things with you. You think that you are in control, and you never dealt with it. You never stood up to it. You never addressed it. You never said, you are not a part of me. You will not live here in my life anymore. I will not allow you to control, dictate, or dominate my life. I am my greater, higher self. I have the power within me. You never stood up to those demons. Then you will never move into your adult life being healed. And the little child will never come into your presence. The little child will never show itself because they don't trust you. You're a liar. You're a coward. They don't trust you because you hurt them once. So if you feel lost in your adult life as you are now, and you still feel small in your adult life at this moment right now, and you're afraid of losing love, and a whole lot of people so afraid, I got to hold on to a bad situation, I got to hold on to a bad relationship, I got to hang on to him, to her.